Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in for another week of my prediction game. You will have just seen I am facing Ryan Archer from West Ham Fan TV. Ryan's actually the third member from West Ham Fan TV to take on this challenge. You will have seen Nicky, Hawkins and Dan Lawless. I think he's probably on a bit of a personal mission to see if he can beat the two of them. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he does. So anyway, thanks again for joining in, Ryan. I really do appreciate it. Right, in the last weekend's prediction game, I faced Chris Skull. I'm not sure if anyone's actually seen the results from last weekend, but if you haven't, here they are. Yeah, Leicester letting both Chris and I down there. I honestly thought they would beat Newcastle, but you know, that's the game. Obviously, I got the Brighton-Huddersfield game wrong. Obviously, Man United game. That was a hard one to call. So yeah, got a few correct score lines, a few correct results, not too bad. Still top of the league, and yeah, Chris is down there in joint 8th place. Yeah, luckily managing to win that week as well. And obviously Chris now joint with Jack Collison on points. So anyway, here we go. Me versus Ryan Archer. Enjoy. Okay, kicking off the weekend is Southampton versus Chelsea. Now, obviously, we played Chelsea last week, got a decent result. And Southampton are going to be so up for this game. The pressure is on them massively. But I still fancy Chelsea, and I'm hoping Chelsea will do us a favour. So I'm going to go with Southampton 1, Chelsea 2.
Hello everyone, Ryan Archer, West Ham Fan TV. I've been asked by Katie to do a prediction show this week. Listen, I'm going to warn you, I'm not good at predictions, but I know Nicky and Dan, my colleagues at West Ham Fan TV, have already had a go. And I think Dan got 2 points and Nicky got 7. So as long as I can beat them two, I'm happy with that. So let's get straight into it. The first game is the early game on Saturday, Southampton versus Chelsea. Look, Southampton are fighting for their lives at the moment. Defeat for them will be damaging. Chelsea coming off the back of a draw against West Ham at home, so they're going to be looking for a win. Can they catch Tottenham? I doubt it now. It's 10 points, I think it is now, they're behind. So I'm going to go for Southampton 1, Chelsea 3.
Burnley versus Leicester. I fancied Leicester last weekend. They were playing Newcastle at home to Newcastle, and they actually lost. It was quite a surprise result, to be honest. Burnley are having a brilliant season, but Leicester are having a decent enough season as well. I think it's going to be a really tight game, so I'm going with a draw 2-2.
Right, moving on to the next game, Burnley versus Leicester. Listen, Burnley are in a great run of form. They're 7th in the table. Leicester are 8th. So Leicester win this one. They go 3 points behind Burnley, I believe. So, but I think Burnley are just going to be too strong at home, and I'm going to go for Burnley 2, Leicester 0.
Crystal Palace, Brighton. Two teams desperately wanting the points, like us all. Yeah, Palace being at home, I fancy them. Brighton, you know, they've had some decent enough results lately, but I just fancy Palace being at home. I think they'll just be that bit stronger, so I'm going with 2-0 Palace.
Moving on now, Crystal Palace versus Brighton at Cellars Park. As we know, this is a lot of rivalry in this game. Both teams at the bottom of the table, wrong end of the table. So you're going to have two teams going for it. I think if Brighton win, it takes them up to 38 points, which almost guarantees them safety. And it will push Palace further into the relegation battle. But I'm going to go for Crystal Palace 2, Brighton 2. I think it's going to be an entertaining draw.
Huddersfield versus Watford. Obviously, Huddersfield are down in the bottom half of the table, wanting points. But it's funny because I totally didn't even consider Watford's position. I kind of just thought they were safe ages ago. But they're only on 37 points, only 3 points above us. They are safe, they're not going down. But it's interesting how actually it's so close. Pretty much all the teams in the bottom half are really, really close, apart from West Brom, really. Yeah, although Watford are away, I still fancy them winning this. So I'm going for an away win, 2-0 Watford.
Right, moving on now. Huddersfield versus Watford. Look, Watford are in 12th place. Huddersfield are in 16th. Huddersfield are at home. They haven't had a great season, really. I mean, they've probably done better than what they thought they was going to do. So, I'm going to go for a draw on this one. I'm going to go Huddersfield 1, Watford 1.
Swansea Everton, yet another team desperately needing points, Swansea. But they've had some alright results. And I think it's going to be a really tight game. Swansea being at home, I think they might... Otherwise, I think I probably would have gone with an Everton win. But being at home, I'm going to go with a draw 1-1.
Moving on, Swansea at home to Everton. Swansea fighting for their life, 32 points. A win here against Everton team that are struggling lately. They got they got a point at home to Liverpool in the Merseyside derby. I know Big Sam ain't flavour of the month there at the moment. So, but I'm going to go, I know what Swansea are like at home. They beat us 4-1 there. So, I'm going to go for a Swansea win. I'm going to go Swansea 2, Everton 0.
Liverpool versus Bournemouth. Liverpool have had an incredible couple of weeks. Obviously, I said last week about their result against Man City in the Champions League. Didn't see it coming. And I must admit, I didn't see it coming this week. If anything, I fancied Man City to perhaps come back and actually qualify for the next round. But well done to Liverpool. They've played really, really well. And I cannot see it being anything different this weekend. Although they are unpredictable. Sometimes they lose to teams you think they're going to beat. But no, I'm going with a Liverpool win, 3-1 Liverpool.
Moving on now, Liverpool, which is the 5:30 kickoff on Saturday, at home to Bournemouth. Liverpool must be buzzing after the week they've had. Through to the Champions League semi-finals, great win at City. I just think Liverpool are going to be too strong for Bournemouth. If Liverpool win, then, I mean, they're going for second place as well. So, I'm going to go for Liverpool to win this one 3-0.
Tottenham, Man City. Man City, obviously last weekend against Man United, to lose in the way they did, they must be pretty gutted. And then to be going out of the Champions League as well, it's not been too good for them, having had such an incredible season. I think this is going to be a really, really tight game. I think it'll be an exciting game, end-to-end stuff. I'm predicting a draw 2-2. Right,
moving on now to Tottenham versus Man City at Wembley. This is the first quarter-to-8 kick-off on a Saturday, I believe. It's a great game. Man City, for me, terrible week, losing the Manchester derby and then crashing out of Europe to Liverpool. Two rivals for them. So City are going to be up for this. They want to get this league wrapped up now, because if they lose this one, United win their next game, then City they need 9 points to win the league. So I fancy Man City in this one. I think it's going to be a close game. I think Tottenham are going to give a really good game, but I'm going to go for Tottenham 1, Man City 2. I think Man City will score a late winner.
Newcastle versus Arsenal. Arsenal have actually managed to do us a favour the last few weekends. I think they beat Stoke a couple of weeks ago and then managed to beat Southampton last weekend. And this weekend obviously facing Newcastle away from home. They're never quite strong away from home, so I think it's going to be a really tight game. I think it'll be quite an exciting game as well, but I'm going to go with a Newcastle 2, Arsenal 3.
Right, moving on now to the Sunday games. The early one on Sunday is Newcastle versus Arsenal. Newcastle in great form at the moment, got a great win last week against Leicester. Arsenal obviously beating Southampton at home. It's tough to call this one. I mean, Arsenal haven't really got much to play for this season now in the league. They're going to be concentrating more on Europe. I'm going to go Newcastle 1, Arsenal 1. And remember, this is filmed this was filmed before Arsenal's Europa League game, so whether they're still in Europe or not, but yeah, that's my result. I'm going to go Newcastle 1, Arsenal 1.
Man United versus West Brom. West Brom actually managed to get a point last week. I think it was against Swansea, which actually was probably the best result for us. But away to Man United, I cannot see Man United slipping up here. I think it's going to be a hell of a performance by Man United, so I'm going to go with 4-0.
Moving on now, Manchester United versus West Brom. Look, Man United are going to be buzzing after the Merseyside, after the Manchester derby last week, coming back to win it 3-2. For me, West Brom dead and buried. They got a good point at home last week against Swansea, but no, for me, I'm going to go. I think Man United are going to score a few goals in this. I'm going to go Man United 4, West Brom 0.
Now on to us, the final game of the weekend, Monday night at home against Stoke. This is a massive game, and I keep saying that every single game, but it is. You know, I think if we get the 3 points here, it's... no, I'm not going to say it's a definite, but it's looking positive for us. So, yeah, the pressure is on us. We're at home, but again, I think like the Southampton game, the crowd will definitely be behind the team. It's a night game. It's always a bit special, even if it is at the London Stadium. Yeah, Arnie, obviously going back against his old team, although Hughes isn't there, he'll still massively be up for this game. So I'm going to go with a 3-1 win, and this is the first goal scorer part of the game. And as I went last weekend, I'm going with the same guy, Arnautovic, to be the first goal scorer. Right,
moving on now to the Monday game, the game I'm looking forward to the most, and I'm sure most of you are. West Ham at home to Stoke. Look, for me, if we win this one, we're guaranteed safety. It'll push Stoke further down the table. I'm gonna go for West Ham 3, Stoke 0, another 3-0 home win. And my first goal scorer in this for the bonus points, I'm gonna go for Marko Arnautovic to score the first goal. I think it's gonna be his day. He obviously got something to prove against Stoke. The Stoke fans are going to be getting on his back, but our fans are going to be behind him. So yeah, I'm going to go for Marko Arnautovic, first goal scorer. So yeah, they're my predictions. Hopefully, listen, I think Katie got 19 points last week, so I think she's still top of the league. So it's going to be hard to beat her. I've already seen Matty Everton in there, Jack Collinson. So it's going to be good. Hopefully these predictions come in. But listen, as long as I beat Dan and Nicky, that's all I'm worried about. But look, thank you so much, Katie, for having me on your channel. Yeah, I'll leave that there. I'm Ryan Archer, West Ham Fan TV. Come on, you Irons.
I love this game.